Every night, she had the same dream, running through moonlit forests, feeling more alive than she ever did awake. But in her dreams, she wasn't running away from something. She was running toward it. In those eyes, they felt like home. Hello again, my beautiful night crawlers. Welcome back to another absolutely insane supernatural love story. I'm Seraphine, and tonight we're diving into a werewolf obsession that will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about love. This story is called He's a Werewolf and She's the Full Moon. And let me tell you, when our girl finally opens that door, chills, literal chills. So grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's dive into the supernatural obsession. She could feel him or something getting closer every night, hunting her through the city. And here's the twisted part. She didn't want to run anymore. Because some men aren't meant to be escaped from. Some men are meant to catch you. When he finally found her, it wasn't at all what she expected. No dark alley, no dramatic chase. Just a man walking into her bookstore like he'd done it 1,000 times before. It started in an antique bookstore at midnight. Gwenna was alone, organizing ancient folklore books, completely unaware that her entire world was about to change. But this wasn't just any customer. This was Armin, and the moment he caught her scent, everything shifted. That smile, slow, dangerous, predatory. The smile of a man who knew exactly how dangerous he was. Then he said something that stopped her heart. You smell like moonlight and secrets. How could a stranger know her so intimately? When he said her full name, Gwenna Nyantai, terror and recognition flooded through her. This wasn't coincidence. And then came the revelation that changed everything. Her grandmother had saved his pack 30 years ago. This wasn't their first meeting. This was destiny. She tried to build walls, claiming she barely remembered her grandmother, but some legacies can't be forgotten. He moved closer, his long, raven hair catching the lamplight as he spoke about dreams she thought were private. The dreams, those midnight forest runs that felt more real than her waking life. How could he possibly know? Who are you? She asked him. Then came the confession that made her blood run cold. He'd been watching her for 3 years, waiting for her 25th birthday. Anger flashed through her, but he wasn't finished destroying her sense of safety. Just stared at her, watched her every word as she spoke. He knew about her late night walks, about the feeling of being watched, about the others who wanted what she carried. What did she carry? What bloodline legacy was awakening inside her on her 25th birthday? Then he hit her with a truth she'd never connected. Why every relationship failed. Why men got scared and disappeared. He left her with a business card and a warning that changed everything. When the moon calls, his final words were the most terrifying. Don't walk alone anymore. There are things hunting you now. And suddenly, Gwenna realized her quiet bookstore life was over. The hunt had begun. 2 days later, Gwenna ignored his warning. She walked home alone, telling herself she wasn't afraid. When the streetlights started flickering, paranoia crept in like ice through her veins. That feeling of being watched became overwhelming. Something was out there in the darkness. She kept repeating, just paranoia, like a prayer, but deep down, she knew better. Then came the rustling, the growling, something inhuman moving through the shadows. Whatever was hunting her moved too fast, too large to be human. This was the danger he'd warned her about. Terror finally broke through her denial. She ran like her life depended on it. The sirens and flashing lights ahead looked like salvation, safety in numbers. She disappeared into the crowd, finally breathing again, finally safe. But when she asked what happened, the answer made her blood freeze. Someone had been attacked, eaten by something inhuman. As they loaded the covered body, one thought terrified her. Whatever was hunting her had found someone else instead. 3 weeks later, Gwenna couldn't stop researching. Her laptop glowed with tabs about her family history and strange local attacks. Luna Nyantai, described as a local healer with unusual methods, but the deeper she dug, the stranger it got. Then she found a photo from 1995. Her grandmother with a group of men in the woods. One looked exactly like Armin. Same raven hair, same green eyes. But that was impossible, wasn't it? Luna was known as the Moon Speaker, something about ancient bloodlines and lunar guardians. Then came the soft knock that changed everything. She approached cautiously, his business card clutched in her trembling hand. He leaned against her doorframe like he belonged there, casual and predatory. He walked past her like he owned the place, that infuriating smirk never leaving his face. When he gripped her chin, claiming she belonged to him by birthright, something primal stirred inside her. She tried to fight it, tried to deny the pull, but her body betrayed her with its response to his touch. He moved to the window, staring at the nearly full moon like it was calling to him. Tomorrow night, her first full moon as an awakened Nyantai, whatever that meant. She replied, "What the hell are you talking about?" Clearly, he was pissed and was not joking. She looked at him as if it was a joke. Then came the confession that set her world on fire. "It means I'm going to lose every ounce of control I've spent 3 years building. It means I'm going to want to hunt you down, pin you against every surface in this apartment, and claim what your bloodline promised to mine decades ago." When she finally whispered, "What are you?" she already knew the answer would destroy her safe little world. And there it was. "I'm the werewolf your grandmother bound you to before you were born, and tomorrow night, that bond becomes unbreakable." The air crackled with tension and supernatural energy. She could barely breathe. She backed away, trying to deny the impossible. Werewolves weren't real. Magic wasn't real. He knew her body better than she did, how her pulse raced, how she dreamed of running on 4 legs. When her back hit the wall, there was nowhere left to run from the truth. He trapped her there, both hands braced beside her head, towering over her small frame. Every failed relationship, every man who felt like an intruder. Suddenly, it all made terrible sense. She whispered coincidence, but they both knew she was lying. Then came the kiss that shattered every defense she'd built. Sudden, claiming, inevitable. She melted into him instead of fighting. Her body recognized what her mind refused to accept. When they broke apart, shock and desire warred in her dark eyes. Her hands still gripped his shoulders. How could a stranger's kiss feel more familiar than anything she'd ever known? Then came the truth. Her grandmother had promised her granddaughter to the future alpha, a supernatural arranged marriage. That bad boy smirk when he said, "Lucky me," should have infuriated her. Instead, it made her knees weak. When she asked about her own wants, the question hung between them like a challenge. "Tell me you haven't been waiting your whole life for something you couldn't name." Her silence was answer enough. The bond was real, and fighting it was destroying them both. An arranged marriage from beyond the grave sounded insane. But when she looked into those predatory green eyes, she saw 3 years of fighting an impossible pull. And deep down, Gwenna understood. She was already his, whether she accepted it or not. The next night, Gwenna felt it before she saw him. A strange sensation rippling through her body, something ancient awakening in her blood. Her apartment door stood between her old life and her destiny. On the other side waited a creature who would change everything. For the first time in 3 years, she wasn't afraid. The pull she'd felt was finally making sense. When the knock came, soft but commanding, every cell in her body responded. This was the moment she'd been born for. His clawed hands were gentle despite their deadly potential. This was her monster, and she wanted every dangerous inch of him. He warned her that claiming her meant no going back, that she'd be bound to a monster forever. But what if the monster was exactly what she'd been waiting for? What if this dangerous love was her salvation? As she accepted the bond, something awakened in her own eyes, a supernatural glow that matched his perfectly. Her touch was gentle, fearless. For the first time in 3 years, she reached out instead of pulling away. As she gazed into his supernatural eyes, something awakened in her own blood, a matching power, a perfect complement. Under the moon's blessing, two souls became one. She was his in every form he took, and he was hers in every beat of her supernatural heart. She felt the shift in him as her acceptance calmed the beast. Her mate was claiming her, but she was claiming him right back. When he lifted her easily in his arms, her petite frame fitting perfectly against him, the bond between them hummed with ancient power. The darkness that had once terrified them became their sanctuary. In the shadows, they were free to love without fear. The green fire in his eyes now burned with love instead of rage. She had given him the greatest gift, the ability to control the beast within. Their love was built on acceptance. She loved every part of him, wild and gentle, dangerous and tender. In the golden light of dawn, they found their perfect moment, two souls who had fought their destiny and finally surrendered to it. In the quiet aftermath, Gwenna watched her mate sleep. The beast had been tamed, but the bond between them was stronger than ever. He had spent so long believing he was a monster unworthy of love, but in her arms, he found his humanity again. For the first time in years, she felt truly at peace. The woman who had once run from love had finally found her home. All right, my beautiful dark romance family, what did we think of Armin and Gwenna's supernatural love story? Were you team werewolf from the beginning, or did he have to win you over? Let me know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, what supernatural creature should we feature next? Vampire? Dragon shifter? Demon? Your wish is my command. Don't forget to smash that like button. If this story gave you all the feels, subscribe for more steamy supernatural romance every week, and hit that notification bell so you never miss when we drop new content. Also, a quick question for my algorithm. How many of you would want a part 2 with Gwenna discovering her supernatural powers? Let me know, because I might have some ideas brewing. Thanks for watching, loves, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay dangerous.